Welcome to Unmuted Podcast with our amazing host and author, Rasia Kaba. In a noisy world, we cut through the chatter, amplifying important voices. Are you ready for raw, unscripted stories that shape our daily lives? Well, on Unmuted, we tackle tough topics, challenge the norms, and share untold stories. Each episode, we bring in thought leaders, influencers, and everyday heroes for genuine conversations. It's not just a podcast. It's a platform for real, raw, expressive conversations. Get ready for the emotions, laughters, and most of all, the truth. Unmuted is more than just a show. It's a movement. So join us as we break the silence to embrace the power of honest dialogue. Welcome to Unmuted, where conversations are real.
Welcome to Unmuted Podcast. I am your host, Rasia Kaba. On today's episode, I have two more beautiful women joining me today from Unhinged Life. These sisters are doing their thing, and I'm so blessed to have them here with me today. And first off, I will be introducing Jacci Williams. This woman, this is her first time here. Jacci Williams is a woman of many talents, seamlessly blending her expertise in properties management with her deep understanding of human behavior. With a degree in psychology, she skillfully navigates the complexity of managing properties while also embracing the emotional and personal dynamic that come with the field. Beyond her professional career, Jacci embodies resilience and compassion as a dedicated caregiver, demonstrating unwavering dedication to those she loves. Her voice extends beyond her day-to-day responsibilities as a valued member of the Unhinged Life podcast. Through engaging discussion, she explored the intersection of psychology, property management, and caregiving, offering insightful perspectives on mindful living environments, conflict resolution, and emotional depth of caregiving. With every conversation, she brings authenticity, wisdom, and genuine desire to connect people, places, and purpose. Tune in to Unhinged Life for inspiring stories, practical advice, and a heartfelt glance into the life of a woman who has mastered the art of balancing it all. Welcome, the Queen. Hey, Jacci.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I am
Yes,
happy to have you. All right.
very excited.
Let me go to my next queen. She has been here before. Nikita Hansford is the owner of Theta Hello Broadcast Media Entertainment LLC and the producer of Unhinged Life podcast. She's a published author and has spent many years working in media using her platform to share positive messages. Nikita created her company to inspire and encourage people, focusing on mental health, diversity, and inclusion. She is also a certified human services specialist, a certified foster care advocate, and a certified life purpose coach. Nikita serves on the Mental Health Advisory Board of Warren County, New Jersey, and continues to bring laughter and light every time she does. Nikita was honored with the 2023 InnoStar Media Trailblazer Award and was featured on the Tamron Hall Show, where she reunited with her former foster mom. She is passionate about her faith and spends time supporting her local community. When she's not working, Nikita loves to relax at the beach and dream of a vacation in Australia while listening to R&B music. Listen, girl, we have to make this dream a possibility, all right? I want to come. Don't leave me out. Welcome, my sis, Nikita.
You can come see the koala with me live,
I'm
okay?
going to
Because
come,
I
okay?
love Kentucky koala. How are you? Thank you for having me, Racia. Thank you so much for having me back.
Thank you for being here. This is home, all right, with family. All right, ladies. Again, I want to say thank you for being on my podcast. I'm looking forward to great conversations today, some fun stuff. And so, are you guys ready to get unmuted?
Oh, yes.
Yes, ready.
All
I'm
right,
so
let's get
excited.
unmuted. Let's get unmuted again. Because it's your first time here, Jackie, I'm going to start with you, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
I don't mind.
All right. Can you tell us what inspired you to pursue a degree in psychology?
Well, I mean, I went to college right out of high school. So when I was, you know how you take those tests in high school? In my school, they used to take these tests with the guidance counselor that would kind of tell you what best fit something that a career that you should kind of go into. And it came out, social work actually came out of that test. But I was kind of always the go-to person in high school. Like, and throughout my life, always, like even adults, as a child, I would have adults come to me and want to talk to me about whatever issues and things that they had going on. And it's always come very naturally to me. And I've always been interested in how the human brain works and what makes us tick and how do we end up who we are, like what makes us who we are. So it was just very natural for me. And I've actually been able to take everything I've learned and kind of just use it throughout my life. I always say like I've always got my psychology hat on, so like
Okay.
it's always on there. So
Okay.
it was natural. I think it's just a part of my personality and who I am. So it was a very natural fit for me, and it was very rewarding. So.
Okay, awesome. So, how has that influenced your approach to property management?
Oh my goodness, it's a huge part of it actually, because with dealing with the public, with dealing with people, especially homeowners and tenants, everybody brings a part of their life into whatever situation it is that you're dealing with them. So a large part of, like, especially when I was in the office, which I work from home now, but a big part of when I was in the office, people would just come in the office and feel really comfortable, and they would come in upset about one thing or another, and they would leave like, "Oh, thank you so much for helping," and I usually will have helped them with whatever was actually bothering them, right? So it's
Mhm.
helped me to be a better property manager in that, like, I don't see people coming to me just with their issues. I also see what's going on behind that. How did you arrive here? Let's talk about why you're upset. And so it also helps me to give them some grace and knowing that, what I'm seeing in front of me, they're often not upset with whatever situation it is. It's usually something else behind it. It helps me give them grace through that. So
Awesome. Okay, I can see how those two, yeah, can influence each other, which will bring me to my next question. As a property management manager, what are some of the biggest challenges you face when dealing with tenant and property owners?
probably the biggest challenge is ego.
Hmm. Don't we all?
That is probably the biggest challenge, right? So,
Mhm.
it's just like for me, it's always us versus the problem. And it's hard for people to get past their egos to realize it's not you versus me. It's we have an issue. Let's figure out what the solution is and let's get there. So that's like the biggest thing that I deal with. And the biggest challenge is just, getting past people's egos, you know,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of times they have that whole like, you know, um, entitled sense of whatever they have going on when they come in. And they're thinking, well, I'm paying you to deliver a service, right? And they are, right? And again, it's just kind of getting them to reverse back to the fact that it's us versus the problem. I'm not the problem. You're not the problem. Let's figure out what is the problem. Let's fix it, So that's the biggest challenge.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I don't know what happened just now. I think because I plugged my laptop. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you for sharing that part of your life. Thank you so much. And so I'm gonna move on a little bit to Nikita. Nikita, first I want to congratulate you on your award yesterday.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Thank you so
much. I want to congratulate you on that. And again, you are welcome. I saw few of it, and I wish I could make it, but like I told you, I was doing some stuff at home.
I understand.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Yeah, look, you were actually there with me, sister. The dress I was wearing, I actually purchased it from your boutique.
Rika Boutique. I saw that. I was like, hey, okay.
I was like, right. My sister helped me stay ready.
That was awesome. And I mean, you look so pretty. And I was like, oh, she look good in that dress. Yes. You were looking so nice in it. So I'm glad. I'm glad I was a part of it. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I was there. All right. Let's talk about Tilted Hello Broadcast Media. All of that stuff. What's the most rewarding experience you have had from the project or initiative you have worked on, Nikita?
Oh, goodness. It is hard to pinpoint one singular experience during my broadcast journey, but you're asking me specifically about my time doing it under my own brand, Tilted Halo Broadcast Media. Right. I guess you could say the greatest experience was doing my first episode under my own brand. It's one thing to have a whole support system that somebody else is running, supporting you as you're moving into your broadcasting endeavors, but it's a whole nother thing entirely when it's just the product of your own brainchild and you're just starting out. You don't know how well it's going to be received. You don't know if you're going to get in front of the camera and just sound like a big old rambling mess. You don't know if you're going to get on camera and just be looking a hot mess. Let's talk about that. But for me, it was the singular most greatest experience because I did it, if that makes any sense. A lot of people neglect to understand that sometimes, even as experienced people doing what we do, we still go through broadcast anxiety. I know I go through it every single episode. Like, Lord, what's finna happen? Is the stream gonna stay all right? Is the power gonna go out? And if the power goes out, how am I gonna be able to hop back on in an emergency? These are all of the things you have to consider when you're birthing a brand. And notice how detailed I am in understanding what could possibly go wrong. Reining that in from that first experience, understanding what I needed to know to grow, it was powerful because it helped me learn. And it actually, brought me into the person I became sitting before you today. Okay.
Awesome. And girl, you talking to me. I'm sitting here sweating right now, sweating. You guys could see. It's a work. It is a lot of work. People who do it understand, but a lot of people don't understand. It's not like just sitting here and looking pretty and asking questions. It's a lot, every week is the same, situation. You're being nervous, like you said, just to elaborate on that a little bit. So I get you. You worry about everything. Like now, I forgot to plug my laptop. So it gave me the warning, like, it's almost there. I don't know. Y'all saw me moving like I had to grab the thing and plug me. I feel like, oh hell, we about to go offline.
Mm-hmm.
What offline? What the
I
heck
get
is
it
going
because I'm
on?
sitting here now like, am I plugged in? Hold up.
Right. Yeah, I was checking my battery power myself too before we
Yeah,
came
I don't
on.
know what plugged me out just now. But yeah, so those things happen. You never know when something will happen. So just a nerve-wracking situation. All right. As someone who advocates for mental health, how do you take care of your own mental well-being while supporting others, Nikita?
I tell people no a whole lot. I really do. Out of respect for myself. I understand the power of restorative rest because, as we've just discussed, what we do takes a lot, coupled with the giving that I do with the work I do every day in the community. I just need to be able to just tap off of the matrix. So, most people don't think it common outside of my circle. I'm going to add that to it because I keep my phone on silent all the time. I very rarely turn the sounds on because I notice that they become distractions. I'm always looking like, who is this talking to me? Who's talking to me? Is this business? Is this business? So I learned to just check off and, check my phone periodically over the course of my day. That's one way I protect my own mental health as I'm out here changing the world one person at a time. Another thing I enjoy doing is just looking up at the sky and realizing no matter what people are saying about what's going on in the world, this world it still has beauty. It still has positivity.
Yes.
I really enjoy watching the changes of the season, especially in the demographic where I live. I know when the seasons are changing because I get to see when the grass turns green.
Yeah.
It's like, what is a visual de-stressor of sorts. I get to see the leaves come back on the trees, even though my allergies are bugging out right now. I'm looking forward to the season because that lets me know I'm that much closer to getting to my favorite beach.
Yeah.
Where I really do take it down and detox my spirit. Many people know I go to the beach on the first day of every single year. Yeah, that's a tradition I started for myself because I realized what being near the sound of the ocean did for me spiritually. So I don't care how cold it is. I've learned how to dress for the occasion. My snow, no sand gets in my snow boots, and they keep warm
Because
while
we talking January. You said
the first day of every year.
January is cold.
Yes, it is. That's what. But we thank God we got these warm coats and these thermals out here, girl.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to do. You just got to find your solution.
Yes, that's true. All right, thank you. Jacci, back to you. Being a caregiver myself, I see that you also are a caregiver, which requires immense dedication and emotional strength to be a caregiver. Um, how do you balance the demands of caregiving with your professional responsibility?
Delicately. They both require attention, and we were, talking on another show about just that balance and just learning that it's, everything needs attention, right? But it's like when it needs that attention, how do you give it? You make sure you give in kind, like this needs to be done right now. Maybe this can wait till, I'm finished with this thing. So it's a balancing act. It really is a balancing act of making sure that, the things that need to get done for the person I provide care to gets done, and professionally as well. So one of the great things is that I've been able to work from home. So I've been able to kind of juggle those two things, and with having a caregiver here as well who helps it out as well. So it's been tasking, but we've been able to get through it because it's just important that you just understand the assignment. Like I had to understand the assignment, and it took a lot of prayer and seeking God for patience, because it becomes overwhelming when you're trying to get all those things done, and you just feel like you're overwhelmed with everything going on, and it's really like you have to stop and we know that the trying of our faith work of patience, and it is a trying thing, trying to take care of everything, but it makes us more patient, and it helps us in the long run, like just to become better people. I think it's made me even again, like I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a saint at it, right? Like there's times when I get overwhelmed and I'm like, listen, shut it down. Like like I need to shut it down right now. But I do that and I step away and I woosah and I come back and I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. This is the plan. This is how we're gonna make this happen. And that's just what I do. And that's how
I'm sorry. So with that being said, what has been one of the most rewarding experiences in your caregiving journey?
The most rewarding experience, I guess, is because he's very grateful. That's rewarding to me. And it's genuine. When you're dealing with someone with severe speech aphasia and they have a hard time getting words out, when they struggle and to get the words out to say thank you, it means a lot.
It touched me. It touched me because, like I said earlier, I'm a caregiver myself. I've been in the human services field for a long time myself. So I love what I do. I love the fact that I'm able to put a smile on somebody's face.
Yes.
I love the fact that they can just have comfort knowing that you are there. Like they look out for you, like you become family, I don't know how to express how I feel, but I just find joy in doing it. Everything is, I always say you can't pay nobody any amount of money to take care of people because it's a challenging work. You have to be emotionally available for people because they are human, right? You ain't gonna toss and talk to people any type of way. You have to be emotionally connected. You have to love what you do. You have to have a heart for it. It's not a field you can be in just for the paycheck. Then you ain't doing yourself or the client an injustice. So I get it. And it's a rewarding job. It can be very challenging, but it's very rewarding. And I love it. Yes, I love it. So, all right. Thank you for that. Thank you all. I mean, the human service job that you guys all are doing, it is a difficult job, but it is very rewarding. Again, like I said, you have to have a heart for it because it is a challenging one. It is. All right, ladies. Let me see here. I'm gonna continue to go, but I would like to first talk about, I know you guys are sisters, right? So we would like to talk a little bit about that, how you guys kind of met later on in life, I would like to say. Would you guys like to tell us more about the relationship and whatever you want to talk about?
Wow.
We like telling the story.
You want to go first, sis?
No, you go. We like telling the story.
Put the church finger up. You know how we do. Wow. It's an amazing story, and it started with me trying to make sure that I was whole. Like you just mentioned, doing the work in human services, for all of the years that I have, I just learned the importance of making sure that your soul was okay, paying attention to what was going on in your spirit, and doing the work of making sure that you were okay. So brief background. Many of you may or may not know that I grew up as a foster child. My mother had her own struggles with her own demons, and I ended up in the California foster care system. Basically, during the adolescent years of my life, I didn't grow up with my birth family, but thank God I was placed in the right home so I could see certain behaviors mirrored. And through those years, I was afforded the opportunity to get some counseling as a child. Again, I was connected to an amazing village that saw a little chocolate girl that could have been lost, but they decided to give me some tools to help me advance my life. So fast forward, I relocate back to New Jersey from California, where I grew up, because I knew I was born here and I had family here that I didn't know. So my intention was, hey, let me go find my family. And that was when I was 19 years old. So I began the work of reconnecting with my birth family, finding out who they were, what was going on. And it was very interesting. In the meantime, I got married, started a family of my own, but didn't even realize I didn't know who I was because there were still so many missing pieces. Fast forward, I go through divorce, and here I am sitting in the room shortly thereafter, and my mom, my birth mother, calls me, and we're having a conversation because we checked in with each other once a week, and she shares with me that my father had been buried. And it stunned me because I was like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Why didn't anybody tell me he even passed away? So she was like, oh, well, don't worry about it, he's already been buried. But for me, it was like, wait a minute, I know this man. I remember this man and how he cared for me when I was little. You don't think I might have wanted to pay my respect? So I was in a season where I was finna lose my mind with this information. But an experienced worship leader. And that's pivotal in how I got through the situation. All the songs that I had sang over the years about who God was and what he could do, all of the years of scriptural study, because I had to be prepared to lead people in worship. I know a whole lot of the word as far as precepts and different concepts and how to make the word of God applicable in your life. And one thing I did recognize that I could do all things through Christ who gave me strength. And at that moment, I decided to do the work to free my mind and go claim everything that I said that I loved. And I remembered I had sisters. I know I had two sisters that my father birthed with his wife after my mother, Wanda, God rest her soul, and Jacci. But I'm like, wait a minute. So I began to work at trying to find Jacci, because in my mind, I'm thinking, if I'm feeling this way, she got to be feeling rough right now. So let me go connect with her, because I knew Wanda was no longer here. I honored that relationship. They were very close. I just wanted Jacci to know she wasn't alone. So one of our cousins, we worked together. So I hit him up and was like, yo, give me Jacci's number. I hit Jacci up and let her know, reminded her who I was, and just said to her, you're not alone. And when you're ready, I'm here. And that's how I got in contact with my sister, because I had a responsibility to her. She's my sister. And I'd seen so many different young ladies with their sisters. I was envious of those relationships. I was jealous for real, because I was like, I want to know what that's like to have somebody hold you down like that. Have someone that you could fight with 1 minute and then just be fighting for the next. I want to know what that's like. So I went and found my sister, but when I found her, I don't think I was the person she wanted to hear from at all. So I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna toss the mic to Jacci. Go ahead and tell us.
Okay. What's
I
your
was,
sister?
I was not ready. I was not ready. Okay.
Oh,
But and in that moment, when she reached out to me, I was going through the stages of grief. I was grieving and I was grieving heavy. I had lost, one part of that is that I didn't just lose my father in that season, I lost my mother too. So my mom and dad actually died 3 days apart, like within 3 days of each other in two different states. And I was traveling from South Carolina to New Jersey, burying both of my parents within the span
oh,
of 3 days. And coming out of that, here I am on the other side of it. I'm still not okay. I'm putting on this big happy face for going back to work and for the kids and making sure everything's okay. But Jacci was not okay. All right. So I get this message from my sister, and it was beautiful and it was touching, and so anybody else would have received that with open arms. But again, I was not ready in that moment. And my response, my unscripted response to her, was something to the tune of, I needed a sister at all these different difficult points in my life that I brought up during this exchange. I said I needed a sister then, and I didn't have a sister then. So no, thank you. I don't need a sister right now. And that I thought was the case, but I needed her. And I just left it there, right? And I sent it. I sent the message, and I was like, there's that, right? And I go on with my days, and God just started gnawing away at me because she responded and said, I completely understand. Just know that I'm here for you when you're ready. That was her response. And I mean, God just gnawed away at me and gnawed and gnawed and gnawed. Because, like I said, I needed her. I did need her. As much as I thought I did. I needed her.
yeah.
And here I am, like, I've lost these two pillars of my life. And God's bringing someone in who can help to fill in that void and that missing space of, these people that I looked up to, or someone to serve as the elder to my life, and God was like, you need to reach back out. So I did. And she welcomed me with open arms. And I said, I apologized for my response. I let her know that, I was going through something in that moment, and she completely understood. We set up a meeting to meet each other, right? So our first meeting, we were going to go to the park. What's best about this story is, Rasia, we show up, right?
So wait, did you know of her though before she contacted you? Did you?
I knew that I knew that I had a sister. My dad told me about her. And I had a picture of her, actually. I had a picture of Nikita. She had a curly kit and a white dress on. I think it was like your graduation picture, like high school graduation picture or something that he gave me.
Okay.
And I knew that she had children and that they were my nieces, but we did not have a relationship. She knew of me, I knew of her, but there was no relationship there.
And you did not know how to contact her?
Nope. Had no contact information for her.
Contact information, I see.
No. So we both lost a sister. We lost a sister in 2004. And we're, when it comes to blood, on that my father's bloodline, we were it. We're it, So and it was like this, Nikita's all I had left of that. I lost my sister who we shared together. We lost our father who we shared. And we're all that was left of his, his bloodline, his direct bloodline. So for that generation. So it was like, I had to pull it together and meet up with my sister. And we met up. Okay. I don't want to bore you with this story here, but we met up, and it was so funny because we get out the car, and we not only do we look alike, we're dressed exactly alike.
Same
The funniest thing. And it was like looking in a mirror. And we started talking, and it was just like, yeah, it was like someone I had known my whole life already.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. Yeah, I asked that because she knew of you. She said she knew of you. She was looking for you. So when you said when you was going through the grief, you needed a sister. Then that's why I asked the question. Did you know how to get in contact with her? But you said no. So, but then again, I see where when people are grieving, you are angry, you are bitter, you just lose a mother and a father, you feel like the whole world is against you, right? At that moment. So when she reached out, it wasn't the right time for you. But I'm so glad that you guys have a great ending. It's a beautiful story, and I'm just happy for you. I'm just happy for you because it touched me because it's similar to me, losing my mother and my father. I talk about it in my book. And I lost my sister, I lost my brother, and I have one sister left. One sister left. And I always felt like Nikita said, when you see people in their siblings, you like, I don't have none. I don't have a mother, no father, no sister, no brother. So the one sister that was left, she was back home. So I was trying to figure out how I can just bring her here just to have someone of blood, that you can have, and she's older because I'm the last from my mother and father. So I'm the youngest. So I'm like, I just need someone I can talk to. I just need someone I can be a baby on, I just need someone I can call sister, someone who look like me, who has my blood type, and stuff like that. So long story short, God blessed me with an opportunity to be able to bring her here, and that was one of the most successful times of my life, just being able to have my sister here. And so I feel it. I just feel it. It's like the story fits so well. It is beautiful. So,
well, can I add something to our story?
Yeah, go ahead, Queen.
What I find so amazing, and even more amazing about God. We met, and then shortly thereafter, my birth mother passed away, and it was during the pandemic. Yeah, that was some very, very trying times. Again, I find myself mentally challenged with the death of the parent and having to bury her when there was no playbook on how to have a funeral during a period of time when there was a no contact order. I had to, I ended up eulogizing my own mother. Thank God for some of these other certifications I have. Where I was able to go ahead and issue a message about grace. But during that time, y'all know, could nobody come to the house, really, and bring me plates and wrap their arms around me. We didn't get to have a traditional repast because of what was going on with the situation. But what ended up happening was Jacci pulled up, honey. Jacci came to see about me. And her hug was the hug that I needed. Because in her hug, I knew that there was all of the understanding of what the grief was that I was cycling through. And that hug actually allowed me the opportunity to just go ahead and begin my own grieving process and cry because I was taking care of everything. But here come Jacci, like, I got you, sis. You're going to let this go. And we have been thick as thieves pretty much ever since.
Awesome.
Our father, I'm going to add, was also a minister.
Yeah.
You said what?
Our father was a minister.
Was a minister. Okay. So, okay, y'all share the same father but different mothers. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's a beautiful story. I mean, thank you. I'm glad, it's a beautiful ending. You guys have both. Y'all have each other now. We can just be grateful, right, for life because the challenges that life throws at us is not something that we aspire, but we just life in, and then we just have to go as it is, So I'm grateful for the connection and for you all being able to connect, and now y'all have each other, to their own, So that's awesome. We're gonna move away from those stories that are a little bit sad and play with some stuff that will make us laugh now. All right. Ladies, let's have this conversation together. This is not a one-person question. So I want to talk about forgiveness, right? Because I personally, I have been, on this journey of forgiveness. And sometimes it's very difficult to forgive and forget and move on, or not even to forget, but just to forgive, period. So what do you think is the key to truly forgiving someone, and why is forgiveness so important? Anyone can go ahead.
Ooh.
Why would you ask
I
me?
thought you said we was gonna laugh.
Right?
You got to go deep. You got to go deep.
Okay, first of all, let's just put that out there first. I'm pray for me because Miss Tilta Halo is petty. All right. And God knows that because I lay my pettiness on the altar before his feet every single day. Let's just talk about that. All right. And it's funny, I put my own pettiness out there first to begin a conversation about forgiveness. See how I did that on my end, y'all. Be ready. Yeah, laying my pettiness aside and being honest. I was just honest with y'all about the fact that I'm petty. And a lot of times when we're seeking to forgive somebody, 9 times out of 10, we need to offer someone forgiveness because they've hurt us in some way, shape, or form. So being honest, first of all, about how you're feeling, I think is critical when you begin the journey of forgiveness. And really taking ownership of the feelings and the emotions that you're experiencing as you're working through the process. And the process starts within your thoughts, right? You're remembering, you're practicing conversations. I should have said this. I should have did that. This could have went this way. Why didn't I do this? But you still got to take ownership of you. And just really consider, how important is it for me to just hold on to this anger? Mm-hmm. And then you got to kind of figure out the steps to actually get to the forgiveness, right? Does it involve a conversation? Does it involve you taking ownership and taking accountability and offering an apology? Are you okay with the apology that you will never receive? Forgiveness is an intricate thing, and I don't think there is one singular formula to getting there. It's an individual process. But I will say this, it is very important to forgive so that unforgiveness doesn't become the root of bitterness in your heart and manifest that way in the way you treat everybody else in your life, holding them responsible for what one person did to you. Forgiveness really is situational. And how you handle and walk out forgiveness doesn't have one pattern or blueprint either. Because sometimes to stay healed, you say, okay, I forgive you because you did X, Y, Z. I take ownership in my position, but here's the deal. In order for me to continue to exist in forgiving you, maybe I just need to stay away from you and love you from a distance.
Right.
Because love ultimately is the goal when you're moving through forgiveness. And sometimes, love requires you to step away to honor yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If I could add to that myself too, like forgiveness too is giving something, like you said, that you may not get in return, right? And that, like when you said that, it hit me so hard, Nikita, because it really is when you've matured enough to be able to forgive and truly forgive someone. 9 times out of 10, that's how that goes, because we sometimes go into these conversations of trying to with conflict resolution, right? Trying to get someone to see things how we see them or think the way we think. And in that, forgiveness is realizing that a lot of times that's not going to happen. Like when someone has done something wrong to you and has wronged you, whether they apologize or not, forgiveness isn't always contingent on that apology and how it comes, or even a change behavior. And like you said, sometimes that's going to equate to you having to love them from a distance because their behavior doesn't change, but that doesn't mean you don't forgive them. And forgiveness is really just letting that thing go and saying that happened. It happened. I forgive them. I still love them. Maybe I do understand, or maybe I don't understand why that happened. But in order to really achieve that full part of forgiveness, it really is just understanding that it's something that you're going to do internally. It's your thing to do. Like forgiveness is your thing. It's not something someone can give to you. It's not something that somebody can do for you or somebody's going to do that's going to make you have this feeling. It's something that you have to achieve on your own, and you have to take ownership of that forgiveness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's something you have to do inside of you and say, I forgive this person wholeheartedly, no matter what, not for nothing. Like no matter what it is, I forgive them, and I'm going to let that go.
Right. Oh, she's come on, Nikita Hansfield. Let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Exactly, Jacci. All right. So I'm saying this because this is where I'm at. Personally, in person as we speak now. I'm like, I hate to keep reminding myself. I don't know if that's the right way I'm saying it, but like of something that someone did to me that I thought maybe I forgive and I move on from it, but then every now and then it still like plays on me. So for someone who is an advocate for personal growth and being using my voice to spread positivity and for me myself to be going through such thing where I'm finding a hard time letting go and just forgive and just be done with it. It's like every time I see an individual who has hurt me, I thought I forgave that person, but everything just comes right back. It makes me sad again. It makes me want to fight. It makes me not like physically fight, but it makes me mad. Again, and I hate it because then I'm allowing that person to still have control over my life, over how I live, and they probably don't even know. So I'm like, damn, why is it so hard for me to let go of this one situation and just and be okay? Sometimes without even receiving an apology, because some things you may never get an apology. You have to forgive, and I think that's the hardest part when you have to forgive someone without an apology. And move on, because actually at that point it is for yourself, like you said, the forgiveness is for me, it's not for them, just for me to be free from it. But yes, this is unmuted, so I'm going to be first on the time. I'll have to be real with you, like that's something I'm struggling. Some people it's just easy to forgive them and be like, I don't care, like I would love you from far, I'm done with that. But this, there are certain people or certain things, certain situations, it's just hard to just get past. And so that's why I'm here today.
Hey, sis, I understand. I understand, because I'm always, doing the introspect. Why does this still get on my nerves? Why does this still make my blood boil?
Right.
And notice I'm asking why. So I have to have that conversation with myself. Like, why does this hurt me? Mm-hmm. And as I'm asking myself, why does this hurt me? I have to check and find out, did I even acknowledge my pain? Yeah, a lot of times, we harbor onto certain levels of unforgiveness. This is just from my own lived experience. I ain't talking about what somebody told me. I'm talking about what I know from my own lived experience. Acknowledging the fact that I'm hurt it was real critical, because we often take on the superwoman syndrome. I'm strong and I gotta move on, and I am every woman. Hear me roar. I am not hurt. We were taught as children, sticks and stones may break our bones, but words may never hurt me. They never hurt me. That is one of the biggest lies told. Sometimes people throw their words at you and they wound you deeper than the largest machete ever.
Yes.
And you have to really acknowledge the hurt in order to heal it. And really embrace why it hurt you. Because when you start looking at why something hurt you, you discover so many other things attached to that hurt. And this is where we hear the discussion, especially in the different faith communities who are still, in this train of teaching and thought. It's, hey, let's get to the root of the bitterness in order to truly deal with it and really treat it with the salve of self-love, and implementing these actions and the things that we need to do in order to truly love ourselves in that area where we're hurting and need healing, loving ourselves back to life. We've got to honor our pain. Years ago, I said to someone, there's a whole bunch of books I'm supposed to be writing in this life. But one of the books I would love, I look forward to sitting down and writing is The Gift of Pain. Because when you really take a deep nose dive into the things that you consider your most painful moments, you find that those are the moments that actually make you unbreakable and unstoppable.
That's right.
That's deep. Hello?
Sounds strange, right? To embrace pain as
Can you? Okay.
the gift of pain. I really think it's a gift.
Yeah.
And then too,
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, even once you acknowledge that pain, like Nikita said, on the other side of it, when you get to the other side of doing that work, you have to figure out what came out of that situation. You've got to find something that came of that, right? So no matter what someone's done to you, it did something for you, or it has to do something for you. Or you have to allow it to do something for you, right? In order to really be able to see that person and thank them, right? Because like you said, the gift of pain, because sometimes that pain is motivating you or making or setting up something else to happen to you.
Yeah.
And on the other side of whatever it is that person did to you, and every time you see them, you think of that pain. You've got to turn that pain into what did that do for you? And if you don't see anything yet, if you look at that situation and you don't see anything that came of it yet, then you got to find something. You got to get something out of that, whether it be a life lesson or whether it be a situation that came about, contingent upon that thing that happened. And I think that's a part of the forgiveness work too, is being able to see what came out of that, because something's got to come out of it.
Yeah.
Something's got to come out of it.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lesson.
That's right.
You learn something.
You say thank you.
Yeah, you learn something. Yes, I just I don't know. Pray for me.
Always.
That's it. You ain't get there yet. That's all.
Pray for me because I hate it. I'm telling you, I hate it. I don't want to be there. I don't want to live there. I don't want to be reminded of it. But for some reason, it's been years and it still bothers me like it was yesterday. You know, and I'm saying I'm okay until I see that pricing or something remind me of them. You know, it's like a whole rebirth thing, and I hate it. And so that's why I say pray for me. But like she said, time heals, which is so true. It's been a couple years. So I'm still hoping, which means I have to work on myself. You know, I have to work on myself internally. I have to find a place where I can let go, just let go at this point, and not dwell on it because it's not doing me no good. I can see it's not doing me no good. It's leaving my head. It's costing me sometimes my sleep, and which is real. I'm being real with y'all, like for real, for real. And this is unmuted. So here we go. All right. Let me move on from that before I start crying on you guys. Let's talk some other fun stuff now. I think this should be fun though. This one should be fun. What is something in life or relationship that you believe people should never settle for? What are personal, romantic? What is one thing you believe, you know, something that you believe no one should ever settle for? Whether in a romantic relationship or just, you know, in general.
Disrespect.
You should never settle for that. That's right. No,
Don't ever settle for disrespect.
don't
You
ever.
know, that's not. You know, if you're not getting that, respect comes in many forms.
Yeah.
You know, it comes in many forms, and someone who just has no respect for you, that you know, it's just disrespectful.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a big deal, and it manifests in so many other things, you know.
Yeah.
But at its core is disrespect.
Okay, Nikita.
Yeah, and everybody has their own definition of disrespect, unfortunately. That's a whole nother conversation. I would absolutely co-sign what my sister just said, that you don't tolerate that disrespect in any way, shape, or form. Because if you tolerate it, you're teaching what someone what you would allow them to do. So listen, you know, I always got subtitles on words. Disrespect, you know, one thing I would not tolerate in a relationship, and whether it be personal or professional, is someone who would expect me to shrink down and dull my shine, just to make them feel more secure with who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very important. Yes.
Yeah. I don't deal well with disrespect, and I don't deal well with insecurity. Now I handle insecure persons on a, you know, one-on-one basis, because I recognize, you know, people have their own life situations, and understanding intersectionality on a whole. I understand, hey, you got a whole different life experience that brought you to this level of insecurity. But here's the deal. Don't push your insecurities off on me. That's because they are not mine to own. And as Coach Cash has often said in years past, your anxiety don't come in my size, boo. So I'm not trying to pick it up.
I love that.
I'm not trying to pick it up.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. I'm going to work on it. Thank you. I love that. So what about romantically? You know, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, marriage, fiance, whatever. What is something not to settle for in a relationship, in a romantic relationship?
Whew.
It's a whole list.
Girl, we only got how long?
Right.
Let's go. We got help forever.
Okay.
One thing. At least one thing. I got mine, but I'm gonna wait.
Well, definitely, you know, like don't settle for being on a different level with someone that's on a different level than you are. That's settling to me, you know. Like if you guys are, and when I'm talking about a level, like it's got to be mental, it's got to be maturity, and you know, it and romantically, if you're not on the same level as that person, and you end up having to, you know, you're it's like pulling a weight, you know, especially if you're the stronger person in the relationship, you know, because it makes everything you do there forward difficult, like that much more difficult to do. And something as simple as love, you know, if they're not on your level and they don't even, at times it makes it hard for them to understand how to love you. You know, and then you get into these situations. A lot of times people end up in those situations, and it's not about a romantic relationship. It's about lust. Okay? And it starts out with lust, and then it develops into more than you intended it to be. And now you with someone you done settled for that had, and you didn't think about any of the things that would have normally brought you to that place with that person. But now you're in a situation with them, because it all started out with, you know, just us being in our fleshly selves. And then ending up, you know, in these relationships where we're settling for stuff that we would sit here and make a whole list about stuff we ain't gonna do, and what we ain't gonna settle for, and find ourselves in it, behind our flesh.
Yeah, it's true.
Behind Satan. You know, so there's that.
Listen, one thing I do not care for in my romantic relationships is being objectified. Yeah, man. Like Jacci said, a lot of times, you know, the fellas approach you with this in the spirit of lust. And, you know, don't objectify me, bruh, because at the end of the day, I have this big, beautiful brain that you can't even see. That is actually my most valuable asset. I know, honey, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made all on the outside. Yes, honey. I'm suckling out here.
Glory.
And, you know, I get it. But at the end of the day, if you don't understand that I bring the value of partnership to the relationship and not what your antiquated ideas of how or what a woman should be in a relationship. Yeah, don't objectify me and expect me to be all of the things that you should be able to be for yourself. You know, I should hope at our big age, sir, that you can go in the kitchen and fricassee something for the two of us to enjoy just like I can. I hope that you've been taking care of yourself in such a way that you can help me bear the burden of cleaning the house. I hope that you have enough self-esteem to know that it is okay for you to come and pay some of these here bills, especially if you expect to occupy my time 100% romantically, and claim me to be yours. It's not a game over here when it comes to the love thing. I don't take it lightly. As I had a recent conversation with someone, love has action. Love has characteristics. And my deal is this: I'm not finna talk to you. I would like to just, you know, I would like for you to just observe how I move and discover, hey, are we compatible? Because I may not move the way you would need someone to move, you know, who's your partner. And I'm okay with that. I know I'm not for everybody. And I for sure know everybody is not for me.
You're speaking for me, girl. Keep talking.
Girl, I'm like, look, girl, I hear you talking, but at the end of the day, I'm a kingmaker.
That's right.
I'm a queen. So I don't know how to do anything else but to come and partner with someone who has a king mindset. And the king mindset is not common and doesn't do common things. The king mindset understands the importance of securing a solid kingdom, not a wishy-washy one built on, you know, jerk boy behavior. I made that good for the broadcast. I could have said something else.
It's unmuted.
Yeah, listen, you know, I'm listening. It could be whatever. You know, men masquerading as boys is the best way for me to put it. boys masquerading as men. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Boys masquerading as men is something I coined a couple years ago. I like the same conversation because there's a lot of boys masquerading as men, and they they equate their manhood
Right.
to a part of their body,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily to their mentality, if that makes any sense.
Sure, it does.
All right. I don't care how many phone numbers you walk out the spot with at the end of the night. I don't care how many females you can take down. What I want to know is, are you monitoring your credit score daily, sir? Because we're at a certain age where we're going to need access to certain things in our lives. We're going to be required to pivot. So do you have a plan for your pivot? You know, I've had conversations in dating relationships in the past where I've even said, listen, I know you had a family before me. I know you've acquired this, that, and the third. I'm the woman that's sitting here like, look, I don't want none of that. But can we have a conversation of what security looks like for me in the event that you leave this earth? Can we talk about life insurance? See, when I'm in partnership with someone, I need to know, are we building? Is this something that we can implement? Yeah, I said jerk boy, Rhonda.
You say you seasoned
them? Seasoned them and roasted them, honey. I seasoned them and roasted them. You know, I like roasted vegetables. But yeah, these are the things. So yeah, don't objectify me and limit me to I need you in the kitchen cooking and in the house cleaning. Baby, I'm outside. This Tilted Halo, it's a whole brand. Not only is it a brand, it's a movement.
Yes.
Right.
You gotta know how you comment. You gotta know how you comment.
Right. And they've got to see your work. You know?
Yeah, they have to. And this is all about when you know yourself and you have done the work and you know what you want and you're not settling and you are intentional about your life. So you won't just entertain just anybody, right? You know, you just know. So I'm glad I'm in that era of my life where I'm more self-aware. I am more intentional and I am more transparent as to what I want and what I don't want and who I would allow in my space and who I won't allow in my space. So all of those things comes with doing some inside work on yourself and finding yourself and some experiences like we talked about earlier, you know, learning from some experiences and, you know, all of those things. So you learn not to settle because talk about settling, I had done a lot of that in the past. It ain't get me nowhere. So at this point now, I want what I want. And so just to elaborate a little bit on that personal part, well, you know, for a personal relationship, what I won't settle on would be all of those things you guys just talked about. And also, what about... I'm trying not to say this, but I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
Okay,
girl. It's
okay, don't settle the bedroom either. Okay, that's very important. Okay, don't settle the bedroom because that's important. The finances, they are all important, but don't settle in that bedroom because you're gonna be sleeping vegetably. You're gonna be crying your heart. You're gonna be turning, twisting like. Why am I laying by him right now?
Okay. Why are you here, Ike? Why are you here? I'm sorry.
All right. So why he's here? Why are you here? Why did I do this? You know, so don't settle for it. Just don't settle.
Right.
Just don't settle. I know it's unmuted, but it's on YouTube. So I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Don't settle. All right, I love it.
That's very real, though. Yes, so real. You know, allow me to just add to that, sister.
Go ahead.
Okay? That's so real. Because you know, out here trying to date and learn myself as I'm learning, you know, what I don't want and what I won't settle for. You're 100% correct. And you know, talking partnership partnering and take care of your health, because you don't want to have to settle in the bedroom. And being fully transparent, since we unmuted, a lot of times we're running into these men at our age that have been running around with Mr. Ed. You know what I'm talking about when I say Mr. Ed. I try to soften up the phrase to make you laugh a little bit, to make people more comfortable with having that conversation. These are the conversations. Do you eat fruit? Do you eat blueberries? You got a little pineapple in your life? What's happening? What are your feelings about some kale? Have you had
a physical this year?
Right. When was the last time you went to the doctor? I was dating a guy at one point. It was hilarious to me because he had all of the things, and it was wonderful looking on the outside. But because y'all know there's a Y in Tilted Halo, because I have a whole lot of questions, I will question you down, as they bubble up in my spirit, I'll ask. So asking questions, find out that the gentleman is diabetic. Fine. I have a medical background, so I know how to deal with that in case you go into the little sugar. I know how to get you some chocolate, some juice, take care of you, know what I'm saying? But are you going to the doctor? So I'm asking, okay, so what medication are you on? All right. So have you had this conversation with your doctor? And the answer I got was like, yeah, it's over. Pack it up. You can leave. Brother trusts to tell me the only time he goes to the doctor is to get his checkup so he can get his medication refilled, and that's it. So a lot of times these brothers are walking around here in shame, and they expect us to deal with their shame. They're ashamed to have a conversation with the medical professionals about the little issues they're struggling with, when there's so many different options to take care of Mr. Ed and bring that dead horse back to life. They need to have the conversation. I like to put a little humor on some of these things to make the conversation more comfortable. But hey, brother, like I said, we need you to bring that dead horse back to life, because we're beautiful. We're full of life. And there's a whole lot of activity left in us. We want to be able to enjoy some of that activity with our partner, not some of it, all of that activity with our partner.
All of it. No settling.
But you have to have the conversation. So, like you said, you laying there like, Lord, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? And, then that leads to other things.
It sure does.
For any of the men who might catch the replay, go on, get that thing checked out, baby. It's okay. Because I've discovered that a lot of, especially in the African American community, oh my goodness, I joke and say that a lot of these angry Black men of a certain age, I promise you, they dealing with that one singular issue. They mad because they can no longer play with their little best friend. They mad. They mad.
No, but that's how. But we laugh and it's funny though. But that's really how they get angry and how they turn into other situations for them. Because then you bring in this, this chip on your shoulder. When you could have took a little something for that, and we wouldn't have to. We'd be sitting here dealing with your attitude.
Right. What used to be. I'm talking about what I need to be happening right now. Can we call your doctor, please?
Right. And then it turns into all this other conversations, unnecessary conversations of insecurities that they have because they realize
you took it out of my mouth. Yes.
They're not able to perform, so they presume that the other person is is either judging them for it or finding it elsewhere. And it's like, now you're making assumptions based on your own insecurities. When you could just go get a pill for that, fix that, and we go on and figure out something else. Like we could be working on something else.
We can be working on something else. Take care of your health. Go to the gym. Do some. I was watching a video yesterday. All the guys just look unhealthy. I'm just looking at them like, it's rather than you just sitting there drinking beer all day, knowing you just slowly killing yourself. How about you use that same energy and go to the gym or eat some fruits, go to the doctor. So I'm sitting there in my head. Yes, I'm judging because like I'm looking at you guys doing things to yourself that you should not be doing, you know. And then the thing about it is when they approach you, they want the good stuff, right? They want the pretty girl. They want someone who has it together. But then they don't. You
Okay.
know, they don't. So did you take a look at yourself before you look over here? Because I think I deserve what I'm putting out, you know.
Yes. Do you fit the part? Do you fit the part? And you know, we sound real, like, oh, it's vain right now. You got to look a certain way. No, that's not it. That's really not it. Self-care shows on the outside. What's happening on the inside of your body is going to show up on the outside.
Yes. Take care of yourself. And
I
we'll
can
talk
tell by
about
looking at your skin that you ain't doing right by you.
Right.
I can tell by looking at your skin.
Look at your skin. We talk about flaky skin. Like Vaseline is okay. You want some Vaseline? Like take care of your teeth. Like it's just some simple stuff. You can't expect me to sit and have a dinner with you when I can't even look you straight in the face. Because I'm trying to avoid something, or I'm not trying to kiss you directly. I'm trying to go over here just because I don't want you to feel bad. And then, it's just little things, but I don't know. A lot of men don't get it. And we're talking about this, and I wish they can hear it. They can listen sometimes, because I think that a lot of men they just be the men, so maybe they don't have to do those things. I don't know. I'm not asking you to do pedicure, manicure every week like the females would do, but I'm just saying, take care of your health.
Hygiene.
What you eat also show on the outside. When you eat show on the outside. If you eat unhealthy, it's gonna eventually show up on the outside. I don't know. Just take care of yourself, guys.
Girl, yeah, I mean, this conversation could go on.
It can go to a whole nother place.
We have to look out for the gentlemen who are not taking care of their health. Then, a lot of us women, we're pretty stable and we're able to sustain on our own. Not necessarily because we want to, but because we just naturally do what's required. We also have to look out for the hobosexual that's out here in these streets. The hobosexual.
In these streets.
They outside looking for a home to come to.
Yes.
And it's you try not to judge the brothers when they come through on the hobosexual tip. But those are the ones that usually come with the extreme love bombing, I've discovered.
Yes.
Yeah, they come in real hard. They're making sure that you're getting 500 texts a day. They're making sure that they call you. They're making sure that they take you out on these dates to create the perception that they got it like that and they got you. And then when you start asking certain questions like, well, hey, what are we gonna do? And then all of a sudden you hear, I'm just gonna come to your house and chill. Oh, wait. What I learned was to ask, well, hey, how come why don't I feel more comfortable coming to you?
Yeah.
That's how I killed a homosexual game quick. I feel comfortable coming to you. And then, and 9 times out of 10, I'm saying this with zero intent on going to see them. But I usually do that to pick their pocket for information. And that's when I find out, well, I have a roommate. Well, you didn't tell me that in the beginning. Or I live in a rooming house.
50-year-old got a roommate. Okay.
Yeah, they life situations. We listen and we try not to judge. I'm not gonna tell you I don't.
We listen, but we don't judge. Well, I'm judging over here.
Yeah, I listen and I try not to judge. Look, I listen and I judge sometimes. I could remix that 500 ways. But you ask these questions and they tell you. Again, there's a why and tilt to halo because I'm gonna question you down. I may not have the whole interview together on the first meeting, but the questions come because I'm paying attention to what you're saying. and I'm paying attention to what you're doing. Bruh, you telling me everything I need to know. The homosexual is another one that you got to look out for.
Yeah.
Nothing of their own that wants to come alongside of you to substantiate them in their own manhood. Bruh.
Yeah. And women are really stepping up our games now. Women are being more independent. It's like, I'm not saying independent in a way where you don't need a man. Of course we do, but we want real men. I'm not raising nobody kid. Like, I have a son. I always tell him there are certain things I look for in men. If I don't see you presenting yourself in a certain way, I'm worried about you, because I feel like the same expectation I have for guys out there, females will have the same for you. So you have to carry yourself certain way, you have to look certain way, you have to achieve certain things. You have to be able to hold your own, because women have more respect for you that way. You have to at least have your own place, you have to have your own car, just the little simple things in life. I'm not asking for a millionaire, I'm saying just hold your own. Have a real job where you have medical insurance, where something a woman can look at you and know that there's a foundation, rather than what you just said. Sometimes life happens and people find themselves in different situations, but how long are you going to allow yourself to stay there?
Right.
That's important too. So it's okay if you are over here trying to get yourself together, but how long have you been doing that? Is it been 4 years, 5 years? Why are you still over your friend place for 4, 5 years and you have a job? If you're working full time, what has been your short-term goals? And before we even talk about long-term goals, what are you doing to help that? So for me, from my past, I have done things that I had no business doing, which is taking people from nowhere and thinking I'm helping them to grow together or to catch up with me or whatever it is, to help them become the man that I desire. And when you do that, those men usually don't stay here, because you have presented yourself as a mother to them rather than a girlfriend or a partner, because you have helped them like you will help your child. So you only help their insecurity to be worse than what it was, because now they look at you like, all right, you did well for me, but what can I do for her? What how's she gonna respect me? So they rather leave and go to someone who will be less, who will look at them as more of a man rather than you. So I say, come with what you have, I come with what I got. Together we can build stronger, rather than me helping any damn man, boy to become a man. I ain't doing that no more. Like, I'm good over here. So
they call that the Build-A-Bear syndrome.
Yeah, the Build-A-Boo.
Build-A-Boo.
I've done it. It turned out bad for me, and we have unmuted.
Build-A-Boo.
So ladies, don't do it.
You're not building boos these days. You want to be built, go to the master potter. The Lord God, our Father, will help you. I promise you. Connect with God and understand what He says about you, sir. I promise you, if you do that and you start to believe what He say about you, you too can get your life together. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Every single thing that I've done in this life, whether it be, getting to the position I am professionally, growing the brand, becoming the author, getting them certifications. I had to do something. And I had to impose the belief of what God said about me. Mm-hmm. And I said it earlier in the show. I can do all things. Basically, now let me paraphrase this to the conversation at hand. I can get myself together through Christ that gives me strength.
Yes. Exactly. So,
Mhm.
exactly. All right. So yeah, there go there. There you go. There they have it. So that's what we are. We are not being difficult. We just know what we want now, and so no settling. For those that are married, we pray for you guys to continue being married and being happy. But for those of us that are not, we set boundaries. Right, Nikita?
Yes, I am the boundary queen.
Set boundaries and know what you want. And
Yes.
you get what you put out. So don't be desperate. Don't be looking for nothing that is not gonna serve you right. Just work on you, like I always say now, work on you. When you want a husband, carry yourself as a wife, carry yourself, build yourself up. Just work on you, because as you work on yourself, God is working on your partner. Okay, so just work on you. You can't be sitting there waiting and say, "Oh, when I find my husband, then I'm gonna do this." Well, no, that's not how it works. You work on you, and then whatever you work on, you're gonna be able to match that energy out there. That same energy will be attracted to you. So, if
Right.
that makes sense. All right, one more question, ladies. I will let you go. What's one misconception people often have about you? What is one misconception people often have about you? See, I told you I'll make you laugh.
I'm laughing because contrary to what y'all see sitting here tonight, hearing tonight, I don't like to talk. Most people would believe that I love to talk because I'm a talk show host. I'm always somewhere talking, do what I do. I am a professional communications worker. I talk for a living. And if you left it up to me, I could spend my entire life saying not one word. I really don't, or Karen helped me out because y'all know she not only is she my best friend, but I'm also a client. She helps me, check, put a name to what I'm doing or dealing with.
Yeah.
I don't like purposeless conversation.
Right.
So if you're talking to me and it sounds like a whole lot of womp 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 womp,
Done.
you're not gonna get nothing from me.
Wasting my time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I really don't like to talk. Little Miss Media Extraordinaire. And I know now and understand that that's why God had me build a platform so I would talk. Because apparently y'all like to listen to some of the things I have to say. Who knew?
We sure do. We sure do. We sure do. Miss Jacci, what's one misconception people have about you, girl?
Probably that like I have this really sweet, innocent face.
That's what it's okay.
Yeah, so people always they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so sweet, so innocent." But I'm usually the author of all the bad choices, all the shenanigans. I'm usually the author of the shenanigans.
Okay.
But yeah, I love to have a good time. I'm a lot of fun. I'm all about, living life. I think, and I tell people this all the time, I've experienced a lot of grief in my life, like a lot of death, like of people like really close to me. And one thing that has taught me is that tomorrow's not promised. 5 seconds from now is not promised to me. And I would like to live my life and enjoy my life with, and again, with respect for myself and, for all the, and not putting aside respect for myself. But what I'm saying is I love to have a good time, and again, like I'll be sitting there and they're like, "Oh my God," if there's a group of people, I'm always the one who everybody thinks is the sweet and innocent one. But again, if you see us doing shenanigans, it was probably my idea.
Oh, okay. Good to know. She looks innocent, but she's the bad one. That's how it goes.
Church finger. Can I interject? Listen, We both got that shenanigating in our blood. I promise our father gave us that because I'm the shenanigator in my circles. I'm all quiet. Next thing you know, I just leaned and said one little thing, set it all the way off. I done orchestrated a whole party just by one phrase.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about Jacci, as it relates to me. Jacci don't play about me, y'all. No. And I'm saying this on YouTube, Facebook, wherever this is being broadcast. She don't play about her big sister.
And she should not. She should
listen. It's different. Y'all can take me for what I'm trying to explain to you in not so many words. She different, y'all.
Hey, don't let that sweet face fool.
Don't let the sweet face fool you.
Okay, good to know. For me, I would say one misconception people have of me, and I have heard it over and over, is that I'm antisocial. I'm antisocial. She's antisocial. She don't like too many people. She don't like this. I think it is a misconception, because for me, it's like you have to know me. You have to know me to love me. For me, I'm not very, and it could be some truth to it, but for the most part, it's wrong, because I'm very friendly. If you get to know me, I'm very loving and open, and I'm cool. Okay, I would like to say I'm cool. Okay, but I'm not easily welcoming, because I like to protect my space. I'm very big on energy. So if it doesn't connect, I'm not, So when I hear that, I'm like, all right, so this person have to know me to really know who I am. It's not that I don't like to associate. I'm just very careful in who to bring in my territory, if that makes sense. So that will always be something, because I have heard that forever, and it seems like it just stick on me now. Like she just so okay, that's fine, but you have to know me to love me, and when you get to know me, okay, what I thought is not. Because I've also had people confess that, like, oh, I thought you were this, but you're not. I just have to get to know you, or to talk to you, or to.
And why do people need to say those things? So that's the funny thing about it to me when we're out here socializing and networking. Girl, I didn't think you, and then they find out that I'm half crazy and had them laughing. I'm like, oh, what y'all thought? Honey,
it wasn't welcoming.
Your energy, I had to test you. I'm like that too, sis. I'm like, look, oh, wait a minute, something ain't right. Let me step back real quick and observe a little while longer.
Right.
And I'm quick to determine, oh, she ain't for me.
Yeah. And everyone's not for everyone. Some people, someone may just see me and just don't like me for no reason. And that's fine. The energy don't match, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that you hit me. We just don't connect. And so vice versa. But for the most part, I'm very loving. I'm very, very loving, caring. I have many, I won't say friends, but associates and stuff. So I know how to socialize. I think I'm putting it out there just so the people that think I'm antisocial know. I'm not. I'm just choosing my company wisely. That's all.
Yes.
As
you should, Queen. Right.
That's right.
All right. So, ladies, thank you so much. But can you all? All right. Let me see what I have here. I'm all thrown off now. And if you could give one piece of advice to anyone, what would it be? Well, from everything we talk about, if you could give one piece of advice, let me see what she said here. Protect your peace, and not everyone should have access to you. Your peace is important. Amen. Thank you, Rhonda. See? Rhonda know what's up.
Yes, she does.
She know what's up. You are so right, girl, and I love you. And you see, Rhonda know I like people. All right. But anyway, yeah, well, one piece of advice you can leave with our audience today, whether it is just personal or on a professional level, anything.
I think for me, it would be what I kind of ended up with the last statement I made about life. And that is, it's not promised to us. And we really have to take what life we have and make the best of it. Like my one piece of advice, and it's always the same, live your life. You live your life to the fullest, live without regrets, enjoy every second that you're given. So
Great, Nikita.
I would always encourage, as I often do on Unhinged Live, I just encourage people to just be. Baby, just be who you are. Don't put on the mask. If you're quirky, be quirky because it's who you are. If you're loud and that it encourages people because people have said it to you time and time again, just continue to be loud. Just be you authentically because everything about you has a purpose. And just be. Because it has its benefits. You don't have high blood pressure when you practice the art of just being who you are. You don't have as many negative internal conversations when you totally embrace just being who you are. Just be, sweetheart. And if the world ain't ready for you, they're gonna have no choice but to get ready for you because you belong. And just be.
Just be. That's just be. That's it. I no point of adding anything to that. Just be you, like she said. It is very comforting when you are just you, not trying to be anybody else. Because the world will adjust. The world will adjust. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I had so much fun with you guys.
thank you.
I look forward to the future. My season 3 is almost over. I have 2 more episodes and then I'm going to take a break. But I'm here if you need me because Unhinged Life is right there around the corner.
And thank you so much for having us and hosting a month-long Unhinged takeover. Unmuted. Thank you for your graciousness and making space for everybody in the tribe. I hope you don't mind me seizing this moment, Ricia, but I just want to take this opportunity to thank every single member of Tribe 2.0. I want to say thank you to Karen, Jacci, Rhonda, Yolanda, Marisol G, and Bliv Mash, the Tilted Halo Tribe, the people who are closest to me, the people that I get to be the most transparent with. I just thank y'all for dealing with some of the things that go on in my mind that y'all help me bring to life. Y'all are so appreciated. And I'm sure this month, Ricia, you have learned why I have every single person surrounding me that I do. Aren't they awesome?
They're awesome. Awesome. You guys are awesome over there, okay? You are. And to just go off of that a little bit, take everyone. Again, like we said, the whole March has been on Hinge Live. The ladies have been here every Sunday. So thank you so much for just chatting with me, loving on me. And you guys are my sisters. I love you so much. So whenever you need me, I'll be right there. Thank you, Nikita, and thank you, Jacci, for being here
Thank
tonight.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. I love you, girl. Thank you, Maria, for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. So, ladies, see ya. Bye-bye. All right, ladies, gentlemen, everyone watching, please, if you haven't picked your copy up for Unmuted, go ahead and pick up your copy. Love you too, Rhonda. Thank you so much for tuning in, girl. My book is available on Amazon, Walmart.com, and Barnes and Noble. Also, check out our website, RicaBoutique.com. We have our women clothing and accessories. Also, we have the Unmuted collection. Go over there and support small business. All right. And also send us an email, info@unmuted.us, if you want to come on the podcast to chat with me. It is an open door for each and every one. I have 2 more episodes for season 3, and then I'll be taking a break because this girl is busy, book and busy. So, but send me your message and we can always find time to chit chat. All right. Thank you all for joining me again tonight. Again, this is Unmuted Podcast. I'm your girl, Lucia Kappa. Good night.